All right. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Quality win over Texas State on Saturday. Proud of how our guys started the game. Thought the start was crucial, and took control of the game early. And I think it was a really good week of preparation last week. Enjoyed Thanksgiving week with our guys. We were the only people here on campus, and I thought that helped us grow and really helped us rebound from the loss versus Arkansas State. Quick start allowed us to play a lot of guys in the second half. Good experience for several guys that'll play much bigger roles next season. I'll hit the highs and lows in all three phases. Special teams wise, negatives really disappointed our kickoff unit. Our kickoff coverage unit I think has been in the top 10 in the country really for all of the last two seasons, and we've got to get better there. We didn't cover with a purpose, and probably as disappointed with that unit as any on special teams I've been all year. And then we had a bad hold on an extra point that we missed the kick because of the hold. Positives, I thought our punt team did a great job versus a block team that's block 3 on the year. I thought we were solid in the return game all day. Defensively, the negatives are I thought we lost our focus on one drive in each half. We need to make more competitive plays on the ball in the air as well. They went up and grabbed a couple jump balls on us in the second half that doesn't need to happen. Positives are I thought we were in complete control the whole game. We stopped the run, 2.8 per rush. We created 2 turnovers. They really struggled on third down. We had good gap control the whole time. Offensively, the negatives are I wasn't pleased with our rushing offense. I didn't think our offensive line or our running backs played very fundamentally sound in the run game. Too many drops. We probably left 100 to 125 yards in passing out there just because of drops. And I thought our backups need to play better. They played the whole second half outside the first series, and we need to be more consistent there. Guys want to play, they want an opportunity to play, and they got an opportunity and really didn't do much with it. Score was 37 when Brandon and a lot of those guys went out, and Tony and some of those guys, and really didn't move the ball very consistent after that. So I was disappointed in that. Positives are we had 13 points off turnovers. We had 0 turnovers offensively and really controlled the game, had 25 first downs. So players of the week, wrapping up the Texas State game, special teams with Ryan Kay, had a field goal, had great op times, had 3 punts inside the 20, which is always a good day there. Defensively, Jalen Roundtree had 2 interceptions, 5 tackles. I think he was our second leading tackler on the game. Guy that proud of, a senior that's really kept improving and made some crucial plays for us this year. He got the game going with the interception on Texas State's opening drive, and that led directly to a touchdown. Offensively, Tavares McCormick, 5 receptions, 76 yards, had a touchdown, played with great energy, blocked outside of one play probably as well as he has all year. The offensive lineman of the game is Damian Kemp. Most he's played all year. Was really encouraged. He's a guy that's going to have to step in, and we're going to count on next year. He'll compete for a starting job in the spring, and he graded out the highest of any of those guys that played. I think we played 9 O-linemen that had 30 or more snaps, and he graded out the highest and really encouraged by how he played. Had 3 knockdowns. Scout team players last week, special teams, Monte Bartow, kid that I recognize a lot, plays with great energy. We took him on the trip because he deserved to go. He's redshirted. And Scout Team D is Jai Nunn Liddell, a corner, who will be a factor next year. We returned some guys back there, but athletically, he'll be a guy that in the spring will get in that rotation, have an opportunity to win a job. Scout Team offense, receiver from Prattville, Derek Gappa. He's done a great job. I think he's got an opportunity to help us down the road. And then our Nathan Harris Service Award, which last week we did a lot of community service. The guy that probably went above and beyond what we asked him to do is Zach Branner. So proud of him. And then our Corey McCullers Spirit Award guy, that sideline energy, and at that game, and Jeremy Wynn, he knows we had to provide our own energy, and I thought this guy Owen Cole, I thought he did the best job of anybody that was on the trip. So proud of him. So good win for us. Gets us to 9-2 and 6-1 in the league, and with a little help from Lafayette, gives us an opportunity to play for a championship this week versus Georgia Southern, and got a lot to play for. And I think anytime at this part of the season when you've got something to play for, that means you've played some good football, and we have. And I'm proud of our guys to put us in this position. We know what's at stake. Win and we get a piece of the Sun Belt Conference Championship, which would be a huge step in year 2. A lot of respect for Georgia Southern's program. a winning tradition. They've had Troy's number. If you look at it, 2014 at Georgia Southern on a nationally televised game, 42-10 in a game that was never close. 2015 here, I think we were the Sun Belt game of the week, and it was 45-10, and they ran 45 points off in a row. We jumped out to a 10-0 lead, and really a solid tail kicking. Just a game that sticks in my memory a lot. They had a drive that went 14 minutes, which I think is the longest drive that I may have ever witnessed. A 14-minute drive there that took up all the third quarter. I think offensively we had 3 plays in the third quarter against them last year. And as I look at their two deep, most of their players return from both those games. So a lot of playmakers. I think it's a game as a measuring stick to find out where we're at. If you look at it, if I'm doing my math right, 87-20 is the score of those 2 games over the last 2 years. So I think it's a measuring stick to see how far we've come in a short time, and excited about the opportunity to play on national TV. Last time we were on a ESPN channel, it did not go so well. I don't think we represented this football team or our program or our university in the right way. So another opportunity to follow up with that. Just touch base on Georgia Southern quickly in all 3 phases. Offensively, they're one of the best rushing offenses in the country. More multiple this year as far as throwing the ball. I still think the offense runs through Upshaw and Ellison, the 2 quarterbacks they play. I think they're both healthy for one of the few times this season. Running backs, they got 3 or 4 deep that are as good as anybody in our league, and they've got 3 receivers, all with 25 or more catches that are capable. And they use them in the kickoff return game as well. I think their O-line's very good in the run game. Defensively, one of the top units in the Sun Belt. They gave us a lot of fits last year. They're huge at D tackle. I think the Sapp kid is an NFL prospect. I like the way the Ironhead Gallen plays. He's all over the place on special teams. He had a career day. I think he was a Sun Belt Defensive Player of the Week last time we played him. Makes a lot of plays, gets after it, hustles, and then their secondary is well coached. Jeremy Ryle, former Troy Trojan, longtime coach, he does a really good job. And their secondary, they're playing some young guys back there, but they've gotten better as the year goes on. And then special teams, I think that doesn't get talked about a lot. I know their special teams coordinator's up for the Broyles Award, so that tells you what kind of unit they have. One of the top kickers in the country. And their kickoff guy puts it in the end zone about every time, and their punt returner and the kickoff returner are both toward the top of the league. So we'll have our hands full. It's a great challenge. Looking forward to it. Early kick in Statesboro on Saturday on ESPN2. Looking forward to an opportunity to compete for a conference championship and finish the season with 10 wins for the first time in Division I history. So questions? Yeah. Well, it's good if you play well. The South Alabama was a great experience for us. It was good publicity. The Arkansas State probably wasn't. It was. I wish they would have cut away at halftime, to be honest with you, in that game. So we've got to do something about it. That's a challenge to our football team. Is we did not put a very good product on the field last time we were on national television. So it's a shot to redeem ourselves, and then we'll have another opportunity in a bowl game as well. Well, I think we got a lot to prove. I'd have read those scores out. Those are pretty convincing. And regardless of what their record is, they've had a lot of injuries. I look at that 2 deep, and there's a whole lot of those guys that return. Just looking at them offensively, Breida and Fields and Ellison and Upshaw and the Ramsey kid, all those guys had huge days huge games the last 2 years. Defensively, we didn't block Sapp or Ellison at all last year. Gallen and Young follow up on that, but I'm pretty sure he was the Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week after his performance against us last year. So, looks like the same cast of characters to me, and I think we've got a lot to prove because we've been physically dominated 2 years in a row.
How confident were you guys after the Arkansas State game that you could play yourself back into Sun Belt Championship conversation?
I don't know. It's disappointing when you control your own destiny and then you don't play well and then you don't. I felt like Lafayette would have a chance just because HUD's team's been playing well coming down the stretch. We've seen him on some crossover and they're playing well. They really are. So thankful for the opportunity that we have to get back in that discussion. That's what you play for. You play to be a champion, and we have that opportunity this week. Won't spend much time talking about it to our kids, honestly. To me, it's about next game. It's about finishing. It's about being the first team in Division I history to get 10 wins, and really it's about just putting a better product out on the field.
Do you feel you guys rebounded well off the Arkansas State game? Maybe having a little more extra rest for some guys to get healed up before playing Texas State?
Well, I think the quick start was really beneficial without question. I thought especially defense came out and really dominated that game early on. And quite truthfully, we're better than Texas State is right now. And they're Everett Withers is going to have a really good football team in a year or two down the road. They're playing a lot of young guys. They played hard, especially defensively. They've got some young guys playing that I think are going to be really good. But they're a year away, and so we went out and took care of business like we should have. So I think we're over that. I don't think you get a loss like that, like how we played against Arkansas State, out of your system until you play a game. So that game's been played. It's out of our system. Now we need to get back and play with an edge. We need the same type of effort that we had against App State, against Clemson, against some of these games where we played really at a high level for 4 quarters. That's what it's going to take in Statesboro on Saturday.
How crucial will the secondary be, given that Georgia Southern looks like on paper they've thrown a lot more than they've had in the last couple of years?
Yeah, they're definitely throwing better. I think the biggest thing secondary-wise is we got to tackle. We can't have missed tackles. When we've given up a lot of passing yardage, it's been because we're missing tackles in the secondary. So they've got some guys that can run, some guys that can make you miss. I think their quarterbacks are doing a better job throwing the ball than probably in previous years. But we've got to do a good job tackling them and keeping them in front of us.
How much different game plan for you guys is it going up against an option-style team? What do you have to do differently?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say they're an option team right now. They're a quarterback. They run the quarterback a lot, but not as many option looks as they had a year ago when we played them. But I think you have to count for the quarterback, regardless of which one plays or any of the 3 play. You got to count for them, and you got to have answers for the option game because they can get to that at any point. But they've been a more quarterback-centered run game, probably less option. Anybody else?
Now you're sitting here, there's 5 bowl game tie-ins. I know I've talked to the players, and kind of probably already know your answers. Is there one of those that kind of sticks out in your mind that you really want to head
Well,
to?
hopefully they answered this the right way too. So Adam's gonna be in trouble if they didn't. We're at this point we're just happy to be going one. Last year, 4-8. I think it's been since 2010 since this program's been in a bowl game. So we're excited about where we end up. I've got my personal feelings. We can talk about it on Sunday. I know we're gonna travel well. I know the Trojan faithful is going to go out and they're going to buy some hotel rooms and they're going to spend some money wherever we go, and we'll travel. I think you can look at what we've done a couple times in drivable games, particularly what we did down at South Alabama. So got full faith in our fan base, but we'll be fortunate to land up in any of those games. Commissioner's done a good job getting a lot of bow tie-ins for our league.